Alright, yo, what's up YouTube? So I really haven't been making a lot of just fitness videos or lifestyle videos, really anything other than volleyball. I've just been posting a lot of volleyball content. I've been kind of focusing a lot more on that on Instagram too, on my volleyball page. But today I kind of wanted to talk about how I cut. You might think that I'm already really lean, which I am. I'm about 215 pounds and I would say probably 12% body fat. I would like to get down to 10-ish, and I think that I could get down to about 205 and be okay. The main reason I want to do that is for modeling. I think also it would benefit me in volleyball too to be a bit smaller, but also in modeling, I'm just a little bit too big to do a lot of stuff like American Eagle and Abercrombie and stuff like that. They shoot like 32 is about as big as they go on their pants, and I don't fit in that because of my quads. So I think if I could cut down just a little bit, maybe I could make something work and have a lot more options. But the main way that I achieve this is I don't change everything that I'm eating. I kind of just rework when I eat and just change a little bit about a couple meals, and it'll do the job just fine. So I made a video before about what I regularly eat. Usually I eat 3 meals a day. They're usually pretty big. I eat close to 3,000 calories. I do a lot of exercising in the heat. Out here in Florida, I'm playing like 5 hours of volleyball pretty much every day, and I'm burning a lot of calories. Usually every meal is pretty close to 1,000 calories. Usually my first meal will consist of like 4 eggs, hash browns, oatmeal, and then my next meal will be chicken and rice, and then my following meal will be beef and rice. And that's usually 2 cups of rice with about 7 to 10 ounces of protein. All that totals to about 1,000 calories a meal. So something that I have to be very careful about, specifically cutting, is that since I'm so active and I play a lot of volleyball in the heat, I'm very susceptible to not having enough fuel to perform at a high level, especially in these conditions. So, if I'm not properly fueled, I can feel dizzy or, just weak and just not right. So that makes it really important for me to stay on top of everything while I'm trying to cut. So my main concerns are making sure that I'm pretty full before I show up to volleyball and then very full after volleyball. Usually I play later in the day. So then whenever I get home, usually my last meal is pretty close to before I go to bed. On regular days, usually I would just wake up, make breakfast, go throughout my day. A couple hours would go by, I would eat my next meal, and then do whatever, and then my final meal would be at nighttime. But whenever I'm cutting, usually is what I'll do is I'll try and fast. I'll try and just get to work as soon as I wake up and then push back my first meal as far as I can. That way I'm less hungry throughout the day. Personally for me, I feel like it's a lot easier to fast in the morning versus after you've already eaten a meal for the day. So some days I'm able to fast for like 3 to 4 hours after waking up and then eat my first meal, and this helps a lot because then I can pretty much just eat whenever I'm hungry for the rest of the day, and I'm just gonna go to sleep before, I would want to have that extra meal that I would usually have. Today, for example, I had 4 eggs and oatmeal, so I pretty much cut out the extra hash brown and I've just supplemented for a bit more oatmeal. Hash brown and oatmeal are both just full of carbs, but I feel like oatmeal is just a lot more filling and you could get a lot more bang for your buck there. So today I was able to push that meal about 3 to 4 hours back from whenever I woke up. So I ate that meal, and then in a couple hours, I'm going to go to volleyball. So before I go there, I'm going to have a small stack. I shouldn't be that hungry, but I really need to make sure my tank is full before I show up there. So a really good cutting snack is rice cakes. So usually I'll have rice cakes with peanut butter and maybe a little bit of honey. So rice cakes are very low calorie. A lot of people think that they taste like cardboard, which is what I thought originally, but they are really good for cutting. So you kind of just have to get over it and eat some shit like that. You might be thinking peanut butter is very calorie dense. Why would I take it? Well, it's still really important for me to balance out my macros. Throughout the day, I don't really eat a lot of fat, so that little extra bit can help me out a lot. On days that maybe I play later or I'm not able to push my breakfast back as far, I'll eat my chicken and rice, but instead of having 2 cups of rice, I'll just have 1 cup. And that's not really a huge difference, but it's something. So usually whenever I get home, regardless of anything, I'll have to eat a really big meal because I'll be absolutely starving. I've definitely noticed that I've just easily been able to clear my final meal whenever I'm cutting. Before, whenever I was eating a full day's worth of meals and I would get home from volleyball, I would still struggle to clear my final meal because 10 ounces of beef and 2 cups of rice is a lot of food. But now by the end of the day, I have calories to spare and I'm clearing that so easily. and I'm not overfilling myself. Like I feel really good, I feel satiated, and I can just go to bed satisfied, even though I'm still in a deficit. The beef that I'm eating is actually 80-20. I probably would switch to a 90-10 or 93-7, but I really just don't eat fats anywhere else. So one, I can afford it with my calories, and two, I need it to try and hit my macros. However, if you're somebody who doesn't do insane activity like that, and even if you just go to the gym, I would recommend doing a leaner beef because each gram of fat counts for a lot more calories than carbs or protein. But that's pretty much all I got. So to summarize, I try and push my first meal back as far as possible. I try and cut calories on my middle meal by either making substitutions or cutting down the quantity, and try and leave a lot of calories towards the end of the day so I can eat a big meal and not go to bed hungry. All right, that's all I got. That's pretty much how I do it. And if this helped you out, leave a comment, subscribe, and yeah, titties and balls and biscuits and corn flakes, I guess. I don't know.